I was down on the beach this morning to catch the sunrise, which, as many of you know, is absolute thing. Views of the hinterland as well. And because the moon was still up this morning, which was just spectacular. I'm going to come back inside now because it's heavy hanging on to this. We're gearing up for a great day today. We've got a fabulous group of women coming. Morning, Debbie. We've got a fabulous group of women coming, and I'm just going to set you up here. So you got a view of that. They got a view of what Surfers Paradise looks like occasionally. So we're having an event here this weekend, and I'm really in the penthouse, which is phenomenal. It all came about really kind of oddly, actually, and it wasn't until I went back and was reviewing my intentions earlier on in the year, about 6 months ago. Actually, it was actually before I actually wrote the intentions, that I have an intention to do an event in a penthouse, and it just happened. It just happened. And I'm still in awe of it. What I wanted to do today was talk a little bit about, isn't it time to create that bigger dream, and the importance of dreaming big. So I'm going to share with you some stuff about that, and we're going to talk about I want to share with you some of the miracles that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and I really put it down to really staying in the present moment, being particularly focused, listening to my intuition. And because of all of that, some things have unfolded. But I wanted to share a little bit about, why I believe it's so important for you to, let's not just see where it's going here. Wait a minute. I'm just checking some stuff. Here we go. It feels really, when I'm out of my own studio, it feels really a bit odd. It's all not kind of, I haven't got my fingers on things. So let's talk about visualization and why it's so important and when you're manifesting what you want. And this is actually a lot of science, brain-based science stuff, but you'll see it a lot. Jack Canfield, in his book, Principles, the Success Principles, talks about visualization a lot. And the reason for that is when you visualize, you actually activate a part in the brain that helps make that visualization come to reality. Now, I have a name for that called frequency of illusion. And it's like when you decide to buy a new car and you want a particular type of car, and all of a sudden you notice that car appears everywhere. And what it is the brain goes seeking ways to make what you want a reality. And in the book, the Principles of Success, Jack Canfield talks about how often Olympic athletes, high-level sports people will talk about how when they stand on the podium and say, "Oh, I've done this over and over again in my mind." And what happens with the visualization is it's got to be a big picture. So it's not just a thought in your mind. It has to be almost as if you put yourself into it. And I know in my meditation, I do a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation every morning, and the habit of being yourself. And he talks about that. He talks about creating a visualization and actually stepping into it. So it's like you walk around in it all the time. And so you're adding bits of it. And so for me, in my visualization, I've got one particular image, and every day I add a little bit more to that. So it might be that you would add a sound. It might be that you would add a person. It might be that you would add a different color. So when you're creating your visualization, is to ensure that it's as deep and rich as you can possibly make it. Because then what happens is this what's called frequency of illusion, and your brain goes seeking ways to make that a reality, seeking out opportunities. Now, what happens in the meantime is that whilst you're prepared for the opportunity, because you've already played it out in your mind, what gets in the way is whether you believe it's possible or not. And that's where we talk continually about beliefs. You'll never guess what's happening. We talk about feathers all the time. There's a feather on the 36th floor. Can you believe that? There's a feather. There you go. I don't think birds fly at 36 floors up, do they? Especially seagulls. There's about 2 of them. Well, there you go. Back to what I was talking about. So it's your beliefs about what's possible that gets in the way. So, for instance, let's use the analogy of a car again. So you've decided on a certain model of car. You see it everywhere. You go, okay, that here it comes. The universe is bringing me the car. But then you will find yourself, if you have some limiting doubts about whether you can afford it, whether you're worthy of having it, whether it's of value, then you will start to hear the negativity. You'll start to hear people saying, oh, you wouldn't want that car, it costs too much if something goes wrong with it. You wouldn't want that because so-and-so I know I didn't like used to drive that car. You start to bring in the buts, the and but. So when you're looking at creating a visualization for your business, for instance, or for your life, and you're creating it as big as you can, look at where the buts come in. But I don't think I can have that. But that's not fair. But it never happened to me. What's the buts? Those are the things, the underneath. And what I have found in my work with women in particular, it comes down to 2 things all the time. One is value and one is worth and worthiness. Bottom line, it often comes down to those 2 things. So if you're wanting to have something in your life, but you're not getting it in your life, look at where do I feel I'm worthy of having this, and what's my value? What's the value I bring to people? And sometimes that could be enough. And if you're aiming for something bigger, the bigger your intention, the more doubt and vulnerability will arise for you. That's just the way it works. So when you're creating that bigger dream, the fear, the doubt, the limiting beliefs are going to come up. And oftentimes you'll say, I've already dealt with that. I've already dealt with that, but it just comes up in a different layer. And in my experience, as I know now, I've worked with hundreds of women in particular, that happens all the time. They'll go from this level to that level, and they get to that level and got to go back and deal with all that same stuff again, just on a different level. Oprah Winfrey talks about that all the time. She talks about, it doesn't matter how famous you are, it just makes whatever you haven't dealt with but bigger and more public. So if you're creating that bigger dream, you're really focusing on that visualization, making that visualization as real as possible. And it's something you have to do every single day. Every single day. Athletes do it. Tiger Woods will say, God bless his heart, Tiger Woods will say, I've played that shot in my mind over and over and over again. There's all sorts of research now that shows that you can, when you imagine playing a piece on the piano and you actually play a piece on the piano, it's got the same impact on the brain. It's exactly the same impact. So your visualization is very important. It's like catching yourself. And then following it up with what's my beliefs about having this? Because remember, it's daily. It's daily, the things that you have to work on. And the next thing I want to talk about is how we do our intentions back to front. We often say, I'll do this when I get the money, or I'll make sure I won't do that video until I've lost these 5 kilos, or I've, got the right equipment, or whatever. Or I'm choosing to book this holiday, but I'll have to wait. If you truly believe in the power of visualization, affirmations, intentions, it's about putting it out there so you reach for it. And a friend of mine once said, what she does is that she puts a deposit on something to make her aim bigger. So she puts a deposit on a big holiday, she puts a deposit on a car, she puts a deposit on whatever, piece of jewelry maybe, but it's to make her aim bigger. So sometimes we get caught up with setting intentions the wrong way around, waiting for the perfect moment before actually stepping into it. And I was once, a business coach of mine once called me the queen of imperfect action. I have this way sometimes of just, okay, I get a great idea and then I just do it. And then I go back and think, oh, okay, well, that wasn't quite right. Let's try that again. But it's the action. Do you know, that's what I'm going to talk about a lot this weekend with the gals that are here, is that it's action that creates it. We sometimes get really hung up on making sure things are perfect, waiting for the right time, waiting for when I'm ready, instead of just taking action. And you're far better off, picking up the phone and calling a prospective client than creating a Canva image for Facebook. It's that action that's extremely important. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between challenge and struggle. Struggle is when you get stuck, and it's usually a pattern that goes over and over again. But a challenge, I'll see you soon, Michelle. I'll see you soon. But a challenge is really about course correcting. When you're creating, when you're on path and you're coming up with a challenge, it's about course correcting the habits, because they're going to lead, those change in habits are going to lead to new growth. And that's what happened with where this event is taking place this weekend. So 6 months ago, in my journal, I wrote to hold an event mid-year somewhere with a great view, somewhere that I could see the mountains or sea to sea, had no idea where. And I just wrote that down. Forgot all about it, actually. And the reason that came about was there's a great gal that I follow, Tiffany Peterson, and she was holding an event in Salt Lake City, or up in the mountains in Utah. And I thought, oh, God, I'd love that, but I'd have to be able to see the sea. I'm a beach girl. So I just kind of put that away. Then when we were looking at this event, there were a lot of challenges that came up. There was, we had issues with dates. We had issues with venues. I don't know how many venues I looked at. I can't tell you how many I looked at, and nothing was quite right. Couldn't get times, couldn't get what I wanted. The room wasn't right. It was just, and this one day I messaged this hotel. And as it turns out, the young girl I met, her name was Caitlin, which is my daughter's name. Anyway, we got great talking. We've created a lovely relationship. She found me a really lovely room, and I really liked that. And, it had kind of couches and beanbags, and it had a balcony. And then my husband and I went to book our accommodation. And this weekend is the Gold Coast Marathon. The hotel was booked out. And I'm like, you are kidding me, right? And I messaged her straight away. I said, you're joking, right? She said, yeah, I did mention to you needed to book straight away your accommodation, because I left everything to the last minute. I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And within 5 minutes, she came back and she said, you know what? The penthouse is available. And she said, you know what? I could probably do a bit of a deal on it for you. So I came in, looked at it and went. And then when I was doing my review in the winter solstice, we talked about last week, doing the review of the winter solstice, I found the intention to hold an event with a view of the mountains and the sea. It was the challenges along the way that kept moving me towards the decision. I had in my mind what was possible, and the challenges kept stretching me to create a different outcome. And here we ended up today. Mountain, sea, on the beach this morning, watching the sunrise. And that's the thing about intentions, that sometimes you don't know how the heck it's going to happen, but you just need to be very clear on the what, and then create the visualization. So today I want to challenge you to create a bigger dream. Whatever the dream is you have going on right now, is to how can you create that better? Then create the visualization. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Who's there? What are they saying? What am I doing? Like the Olympic athletes, you go through each motion one at a time. You know, Jack Nicklaus talked about when he won the green jacket. You know, I've played that last shot over and over and over again in my mind. Okay, what is it? You keep playing it over and over in your mind. So when the opportunity arises, you're ready. That's what luck is. Oprah Winfrey calls it preparation meeting the opportunity. And then look at am I feeling worthy? Where am I feeling valuable? Where am I not feeling worthy or not feeling valuable? Where are my beliefs? Where are my limiting beliefs? And that's where we need to tap on those. So I challenge you this week to in your tapping and your visualization and your meditation, to ramp it up a notch. Ramp it up a notch. And just see what's possible. You won't know the how oftentimes. It will just happen. But if you're very, very clear on the what, and you're continually removing those limiting beliefs because you are open to the opportunities. So when Caitlin said, what about the penthouse? And I went, oh, okay. Not, oh God, no, that won't work. It was, oh, okay. That's how it works. That's how it works. And I wanted to share with you because I've been writing down my little miracles. And I really suggest you do the same thing. So every day in my journal, I write down my little miracles. You know, sometimes it's little things like, you know, I thought of somebody, then they phoned or whatever. But I wanted to share what's been happening. 5 big ones, actually, that happened in the last 2 weeks. And see if you can relate to some of this. I'd love you to share some of yours. The first one was about 2 weeks ago. My daughter was applying for a new job. She really wanted this new job. And she went for the interview, came back, mum, was great, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the next day in my meditation, I saw the Facebook message pop up that said in capital letters, Mum, I didn't get the job. Now, when I first saw it in my mind, in my visualization, I thought, oh, no, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. No, she really wants this job. The next thing I saw was, it's okay because there's something better coming up for her. She needs not to take this job. 2 hours later, I opened up my Facebook to a message from her, go, bing, Mum, capital letters, I didn't get the job. I said, I know, darling, you didn't get it, but that's okay because there's something better. I was able to talk her through the disappointment because I kept saying, it's something better. When we figured out, when I got the message and when she got the phone call, was within about 5-10 minutes. So the message came to me was about 5 or 10 minutes from when the guy had phoned her. She was at the gym and didn't get the message. The second time, I was at a shopping centre just recently, and I was thinking about what we've been talking about being courageously authentic. And I was thinking about a particular person who I thought, you know, one day I'm going to have an opportunity. This person may contact me for an opportunity, and I in all authenticness, I can't take this thing. I kind of just knew it was going to happen. I had the phone in my hand, haven't spoken to this person in 6 months, maybe more. And the message went off, and it was a message from that person. I couldn't believe it. My mouth was open. I couldn't believe it. I was only just thinking about it, and up comes the message. That was 2. Number 3, I've been in negotiations with the owner of a large fitness organisation for a speaking engagement, and we were talking back in February, March, and I hadn't heard from them ages, and I'm thinking they must have found someone else, and I couldn't find the email, blah, blah. That same morning, I opened up my computer, and the very first email that popped up was from these people to book me in for September, and it's turning out better than I think possible. So that was number 3. Number 4, a very dear friend of mine, his son has gone off to Tanzania for 3 weeks, and she's a bit worried about him. And he's a darling boy, and really just a lovely boy. And I woke up one morning, I really want to buy him a little guardian angel pin just to put in his backpack, you know, just and one from his mum, because she was a bit worried about the whole thing. And I went to one of the malls and thought, I'll just go into that store there because I'm pretty sure they've got guardian angel pins. Just a feeling. And I walked in, spoke to the woman. She said, I don't know. I've only just come work today, maybe. And then she went to the manager, and the manager came and said, oh, you wouldn't believe it, these just came in today. And they were guardian angel pins. She said, I've been waiting for those since the end of January. They just arrived yesterday. Number five, I wanted a winter coat. We're going to Canada in December. I knew style I wanted. I couldn't find it anywhere. Wednesday, I lost an earring. I was going out for dinner with some friends of ours and lost an earring and couldn't find it, and I couldn't go home. So I thought, I'll dash into Mars quickly, buy another set of earrings. And as I walked past, Santa caught this coat, the corner of my eye. I went, oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. Picked it up on sale. It was 50% off. I thought, oh, and then it said plus 50% off today. So I took it to the woman at the counter, and I said, is this 50% off this price? She said, no. She said, it won't be. She said, someone's put it there. And she wrote, scanned it and said, actually, it is. It is 50% off. $200 coat, $50. Perfect for our trip. That's because I am focused on what it is and listening to my intuition and taking the opportunities. So I want to challenge you to do that this week. Check to see where you are focused, you're in the present moment, and write it down so you remember all this, because it encourages you to keep doing it. It encourages you to keep, okay, I'm doing that visualization, I'm doing that meditation, I'm doing that tapping, and this is happening. I was aware of this. This is what was going on. And it's about staying focused on what it is, living in the present moment, having that big, scary dream, put it out there, and then keep working on it, looking at all your doubts. All right, we're going to do a very quick tapping because I want to finish this. We've got people arriving in a little bit. So I want you to think of a big dream, a dream bigger than you think possible. I don't care what it is. Big dream. Big dream. If you've got a piece of paper in front of you, a pen, just write on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is your belief that can actually happen? Write that down. Really be honest with yourself. Don't just go, oh, yeah, I know it's a 10. No, I'll get deep, okay? That's not fooling anybody. That's not doing that. Okay, let's tap. And I'd like you to do this, if you can, every day this week. See what happens. See what comes up. So even though I have this big dream, I can see it. But when I look at this piece of paper, my level of belief is I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I have this big dream, bigger than I can think possible. But my level of belief to get this is only I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. One more time. Even though I really want this big dream, but my level of belief is only I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. All right, tapping. This big dream, my level of belief, my big dream, this doubt. Where did this doubt start? My dream, my level of belief, my level of belief, this dream. I want to shift that level of belief, this doubt, my level of belief, this doubt, this doubt. I'm ready to shift this doubt. Take a big deep breath and let it go. I want you to write down as quickly as you can any thoughts that came up for you. I never get, who do I think I am? I'm never going to get this. I wanted this when I was a child and I never got it. I want you to write down as many as you can, because that's what you need to tap on this week. That's what you need to tap on. Okay, we're going to do it quickly. Think about that this week. Think about it. Put it in your mind. Okay, now what I would like you to do, we're just going to do a very quick reframe to get the I am statements out. So we're just tapping. I choose to believe I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of this. I am valuable. I choose to believe I am successful. I am worthy of this. I choose to believe I can manifest this. I'm open to all opportunities. I choose to believe I can manifest this dream. Take a deep breath and let it go. Keep working on that this week. Remember, these are just baby steps to keep on going. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We'll be doing lots of little videos and Facebook Lives this weekend. I'm really, really excited to be facilitating this event. And they've just arrived, Joe. Make the tea and the coffee. She'll talk soon. I'll be letting you know when the next event is coming up. And if it's like this, it'll be awesome. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.